Welcome to my channel, Stuart the Unrepentant Atheist, and we're back again with Darth Dawkins. My last video, Darth Dawkins video, was fairly popular, I suppose, it's fair to say. So I thought I'd give it another go. And it's from Tom Rabbit's channel again. He's taken a clip of Pinecreek in discussion with Darth Dawkins. So I've not watched this, so it's my sort of live reaction. I've not previewed it. Let's go with it and see what happens.
Well, no, your voice quality, the mic quality sounds good, but your voice sounds different. Do you have like allergies or something?
No, it's me, Darth Dawkins. Now, you had mentioned that on the live stream here that you talked with me before, but you neglected to mention that our last conversation, you were entirely evasive about defending your atheistic perspective, and you wanted to change the subject to talking about Jesus rather than talk about defending your worldview. Do you recall?
I think I do remember this. As I recall in that conversation, Pinecreek went down the question and answer routine that Darth Dawkins wanted. I think he admitted that he didn't have a foundation for his rationality and reason, and Darth Dawkins said, "Right, good, so you're admitting you've got absolutely no basis for anything you say." And he said, "Well, okay, yes, now what do you believe?" And then he said, "Well, I believe in the God of the Bible, etc., etc." Okay, let's see what happens here. I think that's what he's referring to.
All that?
Yeah, is talking about Jesus bad?
No, but you used it as a diversionary tactic to answer questions about your worldview. Remember when
if using diversionary tactics to talk about Jesus, I think as a Christian you should love to use diversionary, or to have people use that type of diversionary tactic, because isn't Christianity about Jesus? Shouldn't the focus be on Jesus?
See, you're doing it again. Okay, what I want to know from you is...
No, what I want to know from you is it bad to talk about Jesus as a diversionary tactic?
It again. You're doing exactly what you did before. I'm calling in...
Yeah, and he's annoyed and he's upset because Darth Dawkins is a one-trick pony. He's a one-script man. He doesn't want to talk about Jesus. He doesn't want to talk about Christianity. He's got this strategy. Foundationalism is really what it's all about. And he wants his interlocutor to admit that in not believing in God, he's got absolutely no foundation for anything he says, and therefore nothing that he says can be counted as reasonable or rational. That's it. It's just a one-trick pony.
To ask you a question about your worldview. Are you willing to answer questions about your worldview?
No, I want you to assume that I'm wrong about everything.
Okay. So you're not willing. So if you can't answer questions about your worldview.
Now, this is one thing I would never do. I'm not saying that I'd be any better than Pinecreek in this situation, but I won't concede any ground in order to divert Darth Dawkins away. I would not make any kind of admission that let's assume that every proposition that I've got, that my worldview is absolutely wrong. I would not make that concession in order to divert Darth Dawkins to talking about other things, which obviously he would struggle to defend. Personally, I would not do that. I understand why he's doing it, but I wouldn't do it myself.
How can you say anything is reasonable? Let me ask you a question. Since you don't hold
No, I want to talk about Jesus. Can we talk about Jesus?
Okay, here we go. Here we go again. This is your
Darth Dawkins. Do you want to talk about Jesus? Darth Dawkins, would you want to talk about Jesus with me?
No, from you is, why are you asking?
I want to talk about Jesus. Here we have a Christian, a so-called Christian named Darth Dawkins, where an atheist is begging him to talk about Jesus, and he doesn't want to talk about Jesus.
No, because this is a diversionary tactic.
What? Okay, yes, it's a diversionary tactic because I want to talk about Jesus. It's a diversionary tactic about talking about Jesus. Is it talking about Jesus as a diversionary tactic wrong?
What you are doing is wrong because...
Why is it wrong for me to ask a question about Jesus? Can we talk about Jesus?
Why are you cutting me off? Every time I answer, you're interrupting.
Will you talk about Jesus?
There's nothing new that I could tell you about Jesus that you don't already know. You have explained.
I want to know.
You're over talking me again. Why do you keep cutting me off?
Well, how can you make that assumption that there's nothing that Darth Dawkins could say to Pinecreek which is new, that he hasn't already heard before. How can he assume that? It may well be that if Pinecreek hears the right interpretation of the words of Jesus, he might convert to Christianity, he might become a theist. I would have thought that Darth Dawkins, as a Christian, would want to spread the Christian faith. I mean, it's not actually, there doesn't have to be this these stepping stones. You start off with atheism, and you don't have to go to theism and then move to Christianity. We've seen plenty of occasions. Take Francis Collins, who was supposedly an atheist. He went directly from atheism to Christianity. So I don't really see why. Well, I do understand, of course, because it's his strategy. He is a bit of a control freak. You know, that's true. He's a very controlling person. He's a very bullying person, and he will only talk about what he wants to talk about. And the reason that he wants to debate worldviews is because he knows that is an area where he's got a lot of expertise, and he's good at doing that for a presuppositionalist, but he doesn't want to talk about anything else. And I understand why, but as a Christian, he should really be prepared to talk to atheists about Jesus.
I want to ask you,
why are you being so rude every time I talk?
I want to ask you questions what you believe about Jesus. Can we do that?
You a question, okay?
No, I want to ask you a question about why you believe in Jesus. Is it wrong for an atheist to ask your views on Jesus?
I want the YouTube audience to know this is...
You have zero control here, Darth. This is my channel. You have zero power, zero control. But I will talk to you about Jesus if you...
You see, Pinecreek understands you have zero power, zero control. He knows how important it is for a controlling narcissist, perhaps, like Darth Dawkins, to be in control. It's actually very painful for them to not be in control. In fact, it can enrage them.
You want to talk about Jesus.
Okay,
I will talk to you about Jesus because Jesus is the foundation of Christianity, yes?
So in other words...
Is Jesus the foundation for Christianity?
Yeah, see, this is...
Do you want to I've already answered your question. You asked me, do you want to talk about such and such, my worldview? I said no. Now I'm going to ask you, do you want to talk about Jesus? And then all you have to say is no, and then the conversation's over.
Okay, what don't you know about Jesus?
No, I want to know what you know about Jesus.
Okay, you know what my views on Jesus are.
No, I do not know your views about Jesus.
Yeah, we've discussed.
That's a strange question he asked there. What don't you know about Jesus? He's asked to talk about Jesus and say what he knows about Jesus, and then he says, well, what don't you know about Jesus? How can you answer a question like that?
Discussed it before.
No,
now,
barely. You may not ask me. I already said I will not answer your questions about my worldview. I want you to assume I'm wrong and inconsistent. I want you to believe that and assume that about me.
Yeah, but that's not what Darth Dawkins wants. He doesn't want just an admission of defeat. It's like it's like in the old days. Say Muhammad Ali gets into the ring against George Foreman in Zaire, and as the bout's about to begin, George Foreman just gets down on his knees and concedes defeat. It's not a proper victory for Muhammad Ali. He wants to actually show his skill, and he wants to actually cause pain and beat the person with his skill. That's what Darth Dawkins wants to do. So Pinecreek admitting defeat isn't really satisfying to him. He wants to experience the thrill of the kill.
And I want you to help me understand Christianity from your vantage point. I want to talk about Jesus from your vantage point. Can we talk about Jesus? Can I ask you questions about Jesus from your knowledge base?
Guess what? You just proved my point.
Yeah, you're right, Darth. I proved your point over and over again, but can we talk about Jesus?
Okay. Well, there's no point in talking about Jesus because everything you know about Jesus that you reject. You've already rejected Jesus, right?
Right, but I want to know.
Is there something that you don't know about the Jesus of the Bible?
Is there something I don't know about Jesus in the Bible? Yes, I want to know, did he really walk on water?
Okay. Well, you know that the in the gospel accounts that is detailed, but you reject that as not necessarily being historical.
Do you believe that he walked on water?
Now, okay, I'll be glad to explain to you what I think. I called in to ask you a question about your atheism.
Yeah, and I already said I'm not going to answer any questions about my worldview. I want you to assume I'm wrong about everything, and I'm inconsistent and everything.
Well, of course, Pinecreek's doing quite a clever thing here. He's not admitting that he is wrong. Earlier, I said I wouldn't concede any ground. Yeah, I can see what he's doing. I acknowledge what he's doing. He's saying, assume that I'm wrong. He's not saying that he is wrong. It's a different thing, and it's quite a clever way of putting it.
I want you to assume the worst of me, but I want to ask questions about Jesus. I want to know if you believe Jesus actually walked on water.
Fake? You're a fake?
I want to know if you actually believe Jesus walked on water.
You're going to manipulate the conversation.
I want to ask if you believe Jesus...
He's rich, isn't he, Darth Dawkins? He accuses Pinecreek of manipulating the conversation. Oh.
actually did miracles. Do you really believe that, Darth?
Because you don't want to have a free
Darth, do you believe that Jesus Christ walked on water? Yes or no?
time. You just proved my point.
Yeah, I will always prove your point. You're right about everything, Darth. I want to know, do you believe Jesus Christ actually walked on water? I got Darth Dawkins to hang up on me. You know, it's so unbelievable, hilarious. This is how you deal with precepts. You give them whatever they want. You prove my point, Pinecreek. Yes, I proved your point. You can't account for anything. Yeah, I can't account for anything. Can we talk about Jesus now?
Yeah, but still, I wouldn't. I think I don't really like this. They don't really sit comfortable with me. Concessions. I never make any concessions. I only make concessions when I genuinely believe that I'm wrong, and so I wouldn't do that. However, it was an entertaining chat, and we still didn't really get to hear Darth Dawkins talk about Jesus. So in that sense, it didn't really go anywhere. But the problem with Darth Dawkins is I'm surprised that he's got so much. He hasn't got a following, but he's got a lot of people. He's got a lot of atheists actually who are entertained listening to him and his antics and everything. And every time I put out a Darth Dawkins video, people saying, "Oh, great! You know, do more Darth Dawkins reviews, and I'll subscribe to your channel." It can get a little bit boring if he's on the same script all the time. So in that sense, this video has been good to see something different happening. If you've got any Darth Dawkins videos you want me to review, please let me know and I'll be happy to take a look at them. So that's all for now. I'll be back again with another video very soon. Thanks for watching.